This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Today I got my buddy Jason Lavender on from Wichita, Kansas. This guy has been rehabbing, building his entire real estate investing business using none of his own money. And above and beyond that, he loves teaching people how to duplicate what he's done over the years. So Jason, how's it going, my man?
Hey, good, man. Rick, thanks for having me on, man. It's a long time coming.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking the time, brother. I know you with your experience, man, and people listening to us really focus on a lot of rehabbers, a lot of bird model people. And I follow your coaching program all the time and see what you're doing and the value you're bringing to so many other people. And I couldn't wait to have you on, man. So thank you for taking the time.
Of course.
Jason, so tell me a little bit about yourself, man. You're from Wichita, right? You got family, kids, wife, what you got going on out there?
Yeah, so flyover country. Yeah, we're out in Wichita, born and raised in Wichita. I love it. People say it's a great place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit. I can see that for sure. And I've married, 2 kids. Jumped into real estate in 2017. Previous life, we've all got something that was segued into real estate. I was a house painter. I literally had a great company and great crew, but I did that for 25 plus years. 2017, I was ready to get off the ladder. And so I jumped into real estate and I haven't looked back.
Nice. Good for you, man. What opened the door for you as far as going from painter to real estate? Like what piqued your interest?
Again, just the realization that there were not a lot of 60 and 70-year-old painters. I had to get off the ladder, and I almost jumped in 2008. We investigated that. I always wanted, I love fixing stuff up. I love rehabbing and working on my house. Ultimately didn't. I think that was a great thing. But in 2017, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was trading dollars for hours, and I wanted to get off the hamster wheel. And I knew real estate made more millionaires than any other industry. And I was ready to go. Didn't know anything. Didn't know what I was doing. Had a truck and a trailer and some tools. And, I was like, I'm going to be a real estate investor. And little did I know that had nothing to do with being a real estate investor. I was jumping in as a part-time remodeler, but that was okay. I got my foot in the door, and like I said, I haven't looked back.
Good for you, man. What was your so you said you had a trailer and tools and that. I'm assuming rehabbing was your first niche?
Yeah, for sure. So having a painting company and a paint background and doing some remodeling, that was what I leaned in on. And I always talk about everybody's got a superpower. They've got some skill set, some life experience that they need to double down on. And so for me, that was easy. I was going to double down on understanding rehabs and being able to wear a tool belt. I knew early on that that was not my long-term plan. My plan was to drop the tool belt, which I did. But I made the calculated decision that I was going to wear it firmly, hit every bump on the road, hit every nasty, rung on the ladder, and learn along the way. And so, I leaned in as somebody that knew a little bit about rehabbing and, had some connections to contractors but I knew zero about everything else,
Right.
a lot of the important stuff.
Right. I think that's pretty cool, man. We have a lot of things in common there. I didn't know anything about everybody wants to be a wholesaler nowadays when they first get started. And I never even knew what the term wholesaling was until after rehabbing for 6 years. So I think that's pretty neat that you started off that way. So fast forward now, what's your business look like? You started off doing the work yourself. What was the journey like to get to where you are now, where you have more time freedom?
Yeah. So that, again, calculated decision to be in my business, and then a calculated decision to start working on my business and drop the tool belt and move forward as an investor and not a part-time remodeler. So I was on my projects for the first 3 or 4. After that, I started pivoting and worked as I was my project manager. Then I was, on the projects much, much less, and handing and delegating duties to a team that I was building out. And again, very calculated. And this comes from somebody I really still love seeing old houses fixed up. I love, design, and I'm never going to jump out completely. After this, I'm going to go check out a couple projects we've got going. We've got one heading towards the finish line and one just starting. And I enjoy that. I mean, I really do. I'm not doing any of the work myself. I'm not even remotely close to doing any of that. That's what teams are for. But I still I still love seeing old houses. I'm never going to be chained to a desk. Forget it. I mean, the best thing I love is just driving around in my truck and, looking at properties, checking on stuff, underwriting deals, crawling across and looking at old junky houses. There's nothing I enjoy more.
I think that's awesome, man. Because so many people paint the vision of, be a real estate investor and don't do nothing, right? Don't work. It's easy. You don't need to do anything. And we tell people, and I'm sure a lot like you, do what you want, do what you like. Don't focus. If it's nothing, then hey, so be it. But a lot of us enjoy doing something, right? Do the part of the business that you like. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you've got to, you got to live the life that you want and create the business that you want to create. I drank the Kool-Aid for a while, and it was, the idea that you don't have a business. If you're on a job site, you're failing. If you're out, making some decisions on design or anything like that, then you've missed it. Like, you need to be an investor, and you need to delegate all that. And while I love the team that I've built and I love truly delegating, that was one component that I really enjoyed, and I didn't want to give it up. I mean, to each his own. There's, different personalities. I think, if somebody's just addicted to spreadsheets and loves accounting and everything, they may let go of that first. And they may never, run up on job sites. But to me, I enjoy it. And, spreadsheets and accounting is not my thing. And so I stay far, far, far away from all that. And I've got a great team that does that. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Today, I love seeing old houses and love fixing stuff up. I love, the calculated risk and what flipping can do, and, building portfolio and all of it.
I think that's pretty cool, man. You have a lot of times with guys like us that come from construction, it's a sense of fulfillment too, right? You're the camaraderie of dealing with the fellas and the ladies and the vendors and all that. You feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day, even if you aren't swinging a hammer. I think that's good stuff. Yeah. So you said you started off rehabbing, and then you briefly mentioned their portfolio. Did you evolve into more buying old stuff as well?
Yeah. So my rhythm was, buy and sell, rehab, fix and flip. Did that for a good minute. I found a mentor, got coached up and learned on some different exit strategies. And so I started a wholesaling company and, navigated that. The next step was, all right, I got to start holding on to some of these rentals. And so we started doing that in the medium and short-term rental space. Just as an investor, I'm evolving, into commercial, and just bought a storage unit facility. But at the end of the day, I always go back to, I'm a house flipper. People ask me what I do. I'm a house flipper. Really? Tell me more about that. And I can tell them, rattle off, the 10 deals we got on the board right now. Like, I'm a house flipper. As a business owner and is doing other things, and we've got multiple revenue streams, and I think that's important. But yeah, at the end of the day, my cup gets filled up by being a house flipper.
That's awesome, man. You so you got into other avenues, self-storage and things like that, but the fundamentals of it, finding a deal, flipping a deal, all that stays to be your core, right?
100%. Yeah, that is what I know. I stick to what I know. There's, we can all chase squirrels, and I've done that plenty of times. And you try to outthink your systems, your process, or jump too quickly. But yeah, that is the fundamentals of what I do, what I love teaching and helping others. But yeah, at the end of the day, as you grow, you've got to start deploying capital in other areas. And, so we look for opportunities when we see them.
Got it. Good stuff. So let's talk about your first one, man. When you first went, what was it, from being a painter into flipping your first house? What was that like? How'd you find it? Where'd you get the money? Take us through that.
Yeah. So 2017, the summer of 17, decided I was going to, become an investor, and started, where a lot of people start. I just jumped on Bigger Pockets, and I didn't even know what it was, but I, found a lot of good connections there and started learning, reached out to an agent. First property I bought was on an online auction. So it was an REO property. I didn't even know what REO meant. But for those that don't know, it's a bank-owned property, real estate owned. And it was through Zome.com. They're heavy in some markets and not so much in others, but XOME.com is where I found that first deal. I just self-funded. I had good credit. I just went and got a signature loan. In my market, Rick, you can buy houses. I kid you not. I bought that one for $26,000.
Beautiful.
And I put roughly 20 into it. So you can find those deals in my market. Not so much anymore, but so I had a low barrier to entry. I mean, getting into a fixer-upper in my market, it's a little more doable. I know, people around the country, it's like, gee, how am I going to fund it? Well, I just funded it with some good credit and a signature loan. Did most of the work myself. And we sold that. I bought a second one before I even finished that one. I mean, I was hooked, dude. I was totally hooked. We did okay on that first one, but it didn't matter. I could have lost my shirt on it completely. It wouldn't have mattered. I was in, man. I was going all in.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So you did your first one with the signature loan. Talk about the progression. I know you've built out to where you use all private money lenders now. What did that look like as you were growing? How did you learn about that, and how did you build the credibility with people that would trust loaning you money?
Yeah, that's a great question. I get that asked a lot. So second deal I bought from a wholesaler, and I used my own money as well. Third deal was my first private money lender, and what's what I teach and tell, and this is where this is exactly what I did. I was willing to put my money into the first deal, which you don't have to, but proving the concept and getting a track record helps tremendously.
Right.
So I was a couple deals in, and I wound up on my third deal, and it was so funny. I had just read the book Getting the Money by Susan Lyons, and I wasn't even throwing feelers out or anything. And it was a guy that worked for me in my painting company. He had helped me tinker around and on the weekends when he could on some of these other first flips that I did. And he asked me, he's like, hey, how are you? Is there something I could help you with? Like fund some of your stuff? He's still a lender to me with, to this day. He's one of my lenders.
Nice.
So that third deal, he funded it, purchase price and rehab. Again, modest purchase prices and rehabs here in my market.
Right.
And same thing. I snowballed from there. I started, making connections. Networking is like a superpower. To me, it is anyway. And just began making connections, began building trust with people, people that know, like, and trust me. I'm able to have a conversation simple. I never like with the express intent, me personally, call people up to invite them to coffee, to pitch them on something.
Right.
I just, start conversations. I picked up a new lender just last week, a guy I've known for a long, long time, dear family friend. We were at Best Buy, and sure enough, we were in the big old TV section, just dreaming and everything. And we started talking about real estate, and he sees all the flips that I got going on. He's down. He's like, hey, I'd love to. And, he's a high net worth individual, and he's ready to invest. So we're going to partner with him on our next project.
Nice.
Just, you got to put it out there. You're never asking for money. You're never begging for money. You're asking and looking for partners. I tell people I can give them a better than average return on their money secured by real estate. You want to have a conversation, and it's amazing. Just, some of those simple tools, what the doors a little open.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. Because a lot of people get hung up in their own heads, and I did too. I remember sitting at my first real estate event years ago, and they're talking about private money. And I looked over at my buddy I was sitting with, and I literally said, "Who in the hell would loan us money to flip houses?" Right? It's a lot of it's just here, But when you take the microscope off you and focus on how can I help this person make a double-digit return or whatever it is, backed by real estate, the game changes, man. So I think that's really impressive that you took off with that and you were able to build such a database of private lenders. Would you say that's your main niche now for funding deals?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't. Okay. I was taught early on, your money's kryptonite. You need to save it. You need to keep it, stash it, store it for a rainy day. And there's, reasons for that. I want to be, I want to have a good, healthy balance sheet. I want to be able to cover something if it goes south. If I go over budget on a deal, I'm not going back to the lender. I'm covering that myself. I don't want, I don't want to ever appear desperate or anything. So yeah, I mean, I fund all our deals through private lending. And there's, difference. Obviously there's a lot of hard money lending, and, that's great. I did use a hard money lender one time. Didn't, had a great experience with it, but there are a lot more hurdles to jump through. If that's your foot in the door into real estate, that's great. And I've got hard money lenders that I recommend that I know and trust.
Yeah.
But you can't confuse hard money with private money. Private money is, the friends and family, the people that you've networked with and leveraged relationships and had conversations with. And, it's a phone call or a text. I don't have any portals or submissions and applications.
Right.
That's a hard money, which again is totally fine. But yeah, we've built our entire business on partnering with private money lenders. And that's how we look at everything. Everything's a partnership. Everything's a partnership.
Yep. Good stuff. Now, are they in on the bigger deals you're doing, like you said, the self-storage and things like that? Are they doing those types of deals with you as well?
So once we started swinging, playing at a different ball field, that's when we started to learn, creative finance. And so, no, we always get owner carries on our deals.
Gotcha.
And then, as we've progressed and built our business, we're super bankable now. And so we just go straight to, with an owner carry, we go to our banks that are going to carry the other portions, and just structure the deal where, it's a win-win. If we need to bring in private capital, yes, we've got plenty of people that have stepped up to the plate and said, yeah, we'd be interested in that. The truth is, a lot of times, and you can structure deals any way you want. We're working on a deal right now that the guy wants to partner in with a pretty good chunk, but he wants to be an equity partner. And so, I think there's a time and place for that. Yeah, when we're swinging on some bigger deals, we've got an owner carry component that we're always trying to underwrite. Because once you look sexy to the bank, you can't beat those rates.
Right.
But adding to the portfolio with the Burr method and, jumping in with private money, getting a quick rehab on it, refinancing it out, I can avoid all the traditional 20% down and the seasoning and we're doing everything on commercial loans. So, private capital has been significant, and then learning, some creative financing tools and, knowing how to structure an owner carry deal is next level stuff.
Got it. Is that part of your coaching business for your students, is teaching them how to do that?
All of it, man. You bet.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think that's cool. So what's your goal for the next? We're going into 2025 now. Have you sat down with your team and talked about where you're at now and what you want to do for next year? What's on the books for you next year?
Our team powwow is in 2 weeks, and we'll identify our 2025 goals. But for me, we've got our foot on the gas on buying. I've learned that flipping is great. Wholesaling, I'm not as excited about, but it's a money maker for us, and so we'll continue to do that. I like flipping houses, and we're going to continue to do that. Holding rentals is what's going to take care of me and my family, way down the road. And then, so stacking rentals, letting them sit and pulling out lines of credit to deploy. That's my goal this next year. We've started pulling lines of credit on, different packages of rentals that we have. 2025, hopefully the rates are going to cooperate with us, and, we'll continue to do that. And, money makes money. You just keep it moving. And that's our goal for 25. So we'll have our foot on the gas on wholesaling and flipping and buying, and then, continuing to unlock the capital and equity, or unlock the equity, turn it into other deals.
Good stuff, man. So I know we're talking a lot about raising money, type of deals we're doing in your market. First off, 2 questions. Do you focus on a local model, and how are you finding your deals at this point in time?
Yeah, I do focus local. I want to be able to drive to where I'm going. Virtual everything is super sexy. And I think if you've got the mindset and the, dial that in, it can be extremely lucrative. But yeah, I focus on, South Central Kansas, and, if I can drive to it, I'll be good. And what was your other question?
How you guys find those nowadays?
Finding. Yeah. So we've got, much like anybody, we've got marketing as a wholesaler, and I've got the separate companies. Any deal that we buy from our wholesaling company, we've got to match the highest assignment fee that we would get. I don't want to rob from one company to benefit another. And so we've got a lot of outbound marketing, postcards, cold call, text. We're still doing bandit signs. I mean, anything to get the phone to ring. But one thing I started on a long time ago was just running local meetups and being the go-to. And so it is pretty badass just to be the magnet in your market. So if you
Yeah.
can run the meetups, run the the networking events that people want to attend. We run a very robust Facebook group that I started 5 years ago, and that's paid off in spades. Just developing a community and then being just that magnet in the market. That's going to get you deals, all day long, because that's one that just keeps repeating. And that I kind of liken it to, I've got bird dogs everywhere. I don't have to feed them. I've always got bird dogs. We're always networking with agents and partner with agents. I've got a great agent that, she still brings us deals, but I'm closing on one Friday. It was a pocket listing from an agent that, I've known for a while. That's probably the only deal I'll ever do with him. But guess what? I was the guy that he thought of when, he had a guy going into a nursing home and, had a 40-year collection in his house and, just needed the easy solution. So networking is the one that I enjoy the most. Marketing is not my favorite. I always liken that to like picking a window, it's picking which window you want to throw your money out. We track it, we always look for a good return on everything, but that's not what gets me excited. I know some people get juiced by that, but I just like being around people and networking. So that's always going to be my biggest deal source.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Do you guys ever do much inbound as far as TV commercials or radio ads or anything like that?
Man, we tried radio. We did PPC for a long time. I ran Facebook ads. Again, I had to learn. I'm not really a marketing guy. I don't
Gotcha.
I don't geek out on, which lever to pull and split test whatever and track and blah blah blah. We do that in our wholesaling company. I would tell you that's the least favorable thing that I do. I've got a meeting later today, and we have our weekly meeting. We have a marketing director, and he kills it. He loves that, and I can't. If I had to miss one meeting a week, I would miss that one by far. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's a good business, and we're not going to pull the plug on it. Yeah, I'm not a big marketing fan. I'm not a big sales fan either. That's all wholesaling is marketing and sales.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I like talking to sellers, setting up a scope of work, and then watch it go.
Yeah,
watch it go right down the road, man.
100%.
That's awesome. So if you were talking to anybody, I know you got a time limit here in a few moments, but I wanted to ask you, if you were talking to a group of people right now that might think about getting started, or they're getting their ball rolling a little bit, what were some struggles at the front end that you had to work through when you first started investing in real estate?
That's a great question. When people ask me that the most, they always think capital is their biggest struggle. And I always tell them don't worry about that. That's a good deal will get funded. For me personally, I just wanted to get, grounded in some knowledge, and then I was ready to go. So I'm kind of a shoot first, aim later type person. But some of the struggles I had, were the fundamentals of investing, how to underwrite a deal, how to, anything that involved the calculator, I was sucked at. I was just not. And so I had to level up on that. I had to learn, and, I had some good mentors that would teach, and thank God I listened to just what they said, and, find successful people and just do what they're doing and, replicate what they're doing. But so those are some of my first growing pains, was just, earning some investor chops, learning the numbers. Cash flow was a big one. Flipping houses can be very exciting, and you can have a lot of activity. You can confuse activity with progress, and that is no bueno. So that led to cash flow problems in my business early on, and solving that. But yeah, I don't know. I took everything in stride, and just, like I said, but at the jump, I was all in, man. I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to figure it out come hell or high water. I wouldn't do anything else.
Action taker, huh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. So if you're talking to the next person that's listening to this podcast, and they're like, you know what, this is a good idea, I think I want to try this, what would you tell them immediately? Like, what was the first thing you would tell somebody to do if they're just getting started?
First of all, I'd say, listen to Rick, follow what Rick's doing. Rick is an amazing go-giver, and you should be invested in what he's doing, and guys like him. First and foremost, that's number one. Second of all, identify your why, identify what you're doing, set set your sights, find some clarity, and then go. Like, don't overanalyze forever. Too many people I know, they're analyzing for 2 years, or they're, trying to get trained up. And, I was talking to a guy last week. I mean, he's been a year in one course and a year in another. And he was talking about this another pace course he was going to get. And I'm like, man, what are you doing with it? He's like, well,
Yeah.
it's like, just go. Like,
Getting ready.
You got to go. I mean, you cannot steer a parked car. So just
Right.
go.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. I really appreciate the kind words too. And I wanted to make sure that anybody listening to this, you said something that is huge on it. I know you and I both work with Tom Kroll. Shout out to Tom. Local meetups, your local meetups. Talk to people about how important they are to come anywhere within driving distance of you to come to your local meetup. But how important is it for people to attend local meetups, and what kind of magic happens there?
To me, yeah, you use the right word. It's magic. Attending meetups is where you're going to network. It's where you're going to find your contractors, your lenders. There's just an energy and a synergy that happens at meetups. And like I said, I started one 5 years ago and have continued to grow and grow and grow. And I've got my foot on the gas. And what we see, from people that attend our meetups and the events that we do throughout the year, it's the spark that gets them going. It is the collaboration that gets them going. It is, there's just no substitute for, I'm a big reader, and I've always got my, nose in a book or listening to a podcast. And those are fine and great. But if you're not in the right rooms, if you're not networking, if you're not, feeding and fueling your business and your energy, you're missing out big time. Not to mention, you might be missing out on that one connection. Somebody, has got the keys to that needs, your business needs to unlock, and they're sitting across the room at a meetup on a Wednesday, and you're not there. Well, guess what? I don't think you're going to just all of a sudden figure this out yourself. Networking is key. It is a superpower. And even for introverts, I consider myself an introvert. I don't really, thrive off of, just being around tons and tons of people. But even if you're an introvert, you know what? Just go. I mean, networking meetups, RIAs, I mean, any event that's being held that's within driving distance or wherever you're at, you should really be attending it. And I can tell you, to speak to my introvert people, if you hate the thought of even doing that, that's all right. Go ahead and go there. Find the person that it looks the most uncomfortable, more uncomfortable than you look, and go over and talk to them. Works 100% of the time.
You're right. You're absolutely correct, man. So I highly recommend anybody within driving distance of Jason here, go check out his meetups. And Jason, for people that want to learn more about real estate, how can we find you?
Couple things. I've got a coaching group that I run, and you can find that at elevatementoring.coach. And also you can find out more about me at jasonlavender.ai. Check out both of those and you can get connected. I'm on socials, and they're all connected there and linked. Love to visit with anybody, Rick. I appreciate everything you're doing, man. I think we're kindred spirits, and I know the go-giver attitude and helping people, is amazing. And that's why I'm, thankful to be on here. And I know you're doing an amazing thing. So I can't wait to be talking to you more.
You got it, brother. I appreciate everything, man. Thank you for your time. And we'll wrap it here. Anybody else that has any questions, please reach out to Jason. Feel free to drop any questions you might have, because I guarantee you, if you're thinking it, somebody else might be thinking it too, and you can help a bunch of people at the same time. Until next time, have a great day, guys.